Hello, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to show you my Bluetti AC200Max, as well as this Bluetti DC Charge Enhancer, and all the possibilities it gives you. It allows you to greatly expand your charging capabilities with a variety of sources. If you've seen my other videos, then you know I also build DIY solar generators. DIY is a good choice for a lot of people, but what if you're not the DIY type? Maybe you don't want to go that route. Maybe you want to simply buy something that will be easy to deploy in a power outage, or maybe you want something portable to take with you to somewhere where the power isn't available. If any of that sounds good, then you certainly want to stick around and see what the AC200Max can do. For those of you that just want to know how long will it run my refrigerator, or can it run a compressor, can it run a saw, maybe a coffee maker, later in the video I will demonstrate just that. When you combine the AC200Max with the Bluetti DC Charge Enhancer, which is sold separately, it opens up so many possibilities. This DC Charge Enhancer actually expands the solar input from 900 watts to 1400 watts of this AC200Max. It also expands the solar input for a few other Bluetti products. So be sure to stick around to the end of the video to see a lot of the possibilities this DC Charge Enhancer gives the AC200Max. This Bluetti AC200Max is a powerhouse of a power station. It can power most any 120 volt appliance in a typical home. It can easily power a refrigerator and a freezer at the same time. You can power space heaters, portable air conditioners, lights, hot plates for cooking. You can then even run many power tools such as a compressor or a miter saw. I will actually show you a few of these later on. I'll also run a test later in the video to see how long it can run my 25-year-old very inefficient garage refrigerator in the heat. Now, this unit can't power everything. It will not be able to power any 240 volt appliance such as your electric stove or clothes dryer or whole house air conditioner. In case you have not seen this Bluetti AC200Max yet, let me cover a few of its features. It has a 2200 watt AC pure sine wave inverter at 480 watts surge capacity. It has 2048 watt hour battery capacity, which roughly means you could run a 1 watt tool for 2048 hours or a 100 watt tool for a little over 20 hours. The battery is a lithium iron phosphate with 3500 life cycles to 80% depth of charge. This just means that you can discharge this unit from 100% to zero and recharge it every day for almost 10 years, and the battery will still have 80% of the original capacity. I'm sure you've noticed that your mobile phone battery, after a couple of years, it just doesn't seem to hold the charge as much. Well, lithium iron phosphate batteries are much better at this than normal lithium batteries. You can expand the battery capacity up to 6,144 watt hours using two of those B230 batteries I showed earlier, or you can go up to 8,192 watt hours with the B300 batteries, two of those. There are multiple ways to recharge this unit. You can use AC grid power or generator instead of AC grid. And that takes about 5.5 to 6 hours to charge it from zero to full. Solar, it takes 900 watts, as I mentioned earlier, and that'll be 3 to 3.5 hours to charge. If you use the car outlet cable, it'll take a long time, 10 to 20 hours. I doubt many people will do that. You could do AC charging and solar charging at the same time, up to 1440 watts. That'll take 2 to 2.5 hours. You could do dual solar and DC charge enhancer with solar up to 1400 watts. That takes 2 to 2.5 hours. I'll cover more on that later. It also has pass-through charging, which just means you can charge this unit and use it to power other things at the same time. I just wanted to do a really quick overview of the Bluetti mobile app controlling the AC200Max. Just go to My Devices, that was the home screen, and then I previously added the AC200Max, so it's in here. And I'm currently charging from the grid just to have a number there to show you. So it's pulling in 461 watts from the grid right now. The state of charge right in the center is 51%. On the top left, there's no PV input. It's at night. I don't have it hooked up anyway. And bottom left is DC output, and the bottom right is AC output. And if you see the buttons down towards the bottom, DC is currently not turned on. I have a phone plugged in, but it's not turned on. So let me turn on DC power. And as you see, that bottom left, DC will start drawing a little power to charge the phone. I have a space heater hooked to the AC outlet, so let me turn on the AC power. And then that should start charging. Yeah, there we go. So that'll go up to about 730 watts or something, so forth. Also, there's if you click the battery pack below on the very bottom, the pack 1 is the internal state of charge of the AC200Max, the internal battery. As you can see, it's discharging currently because it's drawing more power than being charged. If it had more charging power than it was using, it would say charging. And sometimes standby, as the pack 2 says. Pack 2 and pack 3 are not plugged in. I do not, at this very moment, I don't have either expansion battery plugged in, so that's the reason they're showing nothing. And there's some settings and there are things you can change, but for the most part, that's about it. The AC200Max comes in at just under 62 pounds. A little on the heavy side, but one person can move it around okay. The garage is so hot, I decided not to film in there, so I moved it upstairs here, so I was able to actually carry it upstairs. It is 16.5 inches in length, 11 inches in depth, and 15.2 inches tall. And it comes with a 4-year warranty. Let me quickly show you some of the inputs and outputs on this unit. Let's start on the side here. So we have the AC200Max on the top and the B230 battery on the bottom. These two ports here, the one that the battery is plugged into and this other extra battery here, are the two expansion ports for batteries up to 8,192 watt hours. This input here, this little purple blue cap, is an aviation style input. It takes this cable plugs into it, and then the other end has an XT90 that all the other cables plug into. Like for example, the MC4 cables just plug in here, and you run this out to your solar panel. This is the AC input or the DC Charge Enhancer. So the AC charging plug goes in here, or the DC Charge Enhancer plugs in here as well. Now the Bluetti AC200Max does come with this charging brick. It's external, and of course it plugs into the AC input port. And a lot of people don't like this. It's not really a problem for me. I used it when I first bought the unit, and charged it up, and then I'm using a little bit for this video just to add quick charge here and there, but other than that, I just charged with solar. On the AC200Max, it does come with these two wireless charging pads here, which is a really nice feature. So on the front here, we have the display screen and the power on button. You'll notice it's at 0% currently because I just finished the refrigerator capacity test, and it went all the way to 0, and it stopped outputting any, but the unit still runs for a while. I don't know how long. I'll be charging it in a few minutes. Over on the left, we have these are the DC port areas. The first one I'll cover is the car charging. I'm sorry, the car the outlet. It also, you can charge with this port too. None of the others you can, just this one on the front. This one is the aviation style port like we have on the side for input. These are two 5521 ports, 5.5 millimeters. It's a USB-C 100 watt port and 4 USB-A ports. On the AC side here, we have 4 standard 20 amp AC outlets, and we have over here a 30 amp RV style output. I believe you can get the full capacity 2200 watts out of this one port here. And all these ports, as you saw, have dust covers, which is a really nice feature. I wanted to demo the screen here just a little bit, but it was down to 0% and I knew some things wouldn't work. So I'm charging it with the charge brick right now just to bring it up to enough to demonstrate some of the features. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the expansion battery. I don't know how fast it will turn on, but it will. Now, as you see, it just went to 42%, and that's because it's averaging how much battery is left in the unit and how much capacity is in the expansion battery. So here's just a demo. Let me press this. As you see, the expansion battery is in standby mode, but the battery in the AC200Max is currently online. It's not needing to charge nor use the expansion battery, so it's the light's not, the little green light's not turned on it. If we had a second battery plugged in, it'd be over here. So this screen gives you the charge capacity basically of each pack or each expansion battery. Let's go back. As you can see, the input from the charge brick is at 435 watts. That varies. It says it can go up to 500, but I've never seen it that high. It's usually around this. If you want to turn on the AC ports over here, you have to turn on the AC power like that, and now it's on. Turn that off. DC the same way to use any of the ports. It has settings here. I won't go into all the settings. It has some data that it tells you. And if you had any alarms currently, it would show you those alarms here. And that's just a quick overview of this screen here. So now let me talk a little bit about the DC Charge Enhancer. This is a DC Charge Enhancer. It's sold separately. It's basically just this brick here with a plug that goes into the AC input of the AC200Max or the B230 battery. It'll go directly in either one. You can actually charge this battery separately. You can hook this to a car charging port. You could hook it to solar panels. And when you hook it to solar panels, you can actually, as I mentioned, it will charge the battery directly from solar or the AC200Max from solar. I also bought this cable with these alligator clamps. It's called the lead acid battery charging cable. I think it costs around 12 bucks, but you can plug it in here, and let me show you what one thing you can do with this. So what I have here is this Power Queen 12 volt lithium iron phosphate battery that I have two of laying around. And what I've done is I've taken alligator clamps and I've plugged that into the DC Charge Enhancer and then into the AC200Max. So let me hook this up and I'll show you how this can charge. I hope the screen's not flickering, but as you can see, it's charging right now at 92 watts, 97 watts. It varies, but that is the 12 volt lithium iron phosphate battery connected to the DC Charge Enhancer going into the AC input port. So it's actually charging the unit from an external battery like this. Now this is only a 12 volt battery. If I wire two of these in series, let's see what that looks like. Now I've got two 12 volt lithium iron phosphate batteries wired in series. So as you can see, the watts is quite a bit higher. So it would charge a lot faster if you have, it's up to 227 watts. If you have two of these and you wire them in series, as I have here, it'll charge much faster that way. Okay, I've had to move to my hot garage to do this test because that's where all my solar input comes into. So let me show you what I got going here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test charging the normal solar on the AC200Max, which is this cable here. And this wire here is coming in from my mobile solar array I have out in the south side of my yard. Let's plug that up and see what we're getting. I'll bring you in close here in a minute when I see something coming in. It's a terribly overcast day, clouds everywhere. Out of that 800 possible watts, I'm only getting 254 or 62. It's going up slightly, but it's not very much. Now, this wire here is coming in from that Bluetti 350 watt mobile panel I set up in the side of the yard. And I'm going to plug it into my DC Charge Enhancer. So, while that's coming up to speed, let me move you in closer here. Hopefully we can see. I'll try to zoom this in. So if that's big enough, I'm getting 265 watts from the mobile solar array, from the normal solar input, and I'm getting 104, 109, it was bouncing around, coming in from the single 350 watt panel I have on the side of my yard here, coming in through the Bluetti DC Charge Enhancer. So as you can see, if we had perfect conditions and I had the perfect amount of solar, I could push this thing to 1400 watts. But right now I'm getting roughly 400, or just under 400. So I ran the refrigerator test overnight actually, and I noticed that I don't think it ever turned off the refrigerator. It's so hot in the garage. It's about 85 to 90 degrees usually in here. If it's been flirting with 100 degrees every day around here. So it ran for 9 hours and 45 minutes. It was pulling around 169 watts continuously, and I noticed at one point for a long period of time it was drawing about 600 to 700 watts, and I'm guessing that was a defrost cycle. So 9 hours and 45 minutes. So if you connect the B230 battery to it, that will effectively double that. So you say somewhere between 18 and 20 hours maybe that it would work under these conditions and the size of this refrigerator. If you had a smaller refrigerator, temperature was better, not so hot, I would assume that it would last a little bit longer, or quite a bit longer probably. Okay, I'm about to run a test with a miter saw. See how it handles that. I've got the extension cord hooked in here, running out to the miter saw, and let's see how that works. I did notice it started up a little slower, but it worked. Okay, I'm going to do the miter saw again, but with the camera focused on the AC200Max screen. I don't know what it showed on the screen, goes out there cutting, but hope you guys. Okay, now I'm going to do a test trying to start my small Craftsman air compressor. I think it'll work just fine since this thing has 4,800 watts of surge capacity. So let's see if I can zoom this in here, and I'll go over and turn on the air compressor. Here we go. That worked no problem. As you saw, the wattage got up to around 870 max and kind of leveled off after that. So running air compressor, no problem. Okay, now I'm going to do a test, as I mentioned, using the coffee maker. I'll make a cup of coffee. I'm going to first do this test watching the coffee maker, and then I'll do it again watching the screen on the AC200Max. Let's turn it on. Now it's heating up now. This is where it's going to be drawing the most power, and it is working. Actually, let me just run out there real fast and see if I can catch this thing. I was actually charging it, so I'll take that out. As you can see, it is pulling 1,300, and it's 18 watts. That's quite a bit, but it's doing it just fine. So let's run in and catch the coffee making, and I won't have to do this test but once. There we go. Excuse the mess if you saw the mess on the kitchen counter. I'm just moving things around for this test and piling things up. Alright, as you can see, it's successfully making a cup of coffee, so no problem with doing that. Well, I hope everyone has enjoyed watching what the Bluetti AC200Max and the Bluetti DC Charge Enhancer can provide you, all the flexibility of charging. The Bluetti AC200Max is currently running $15.99. I did get that I was able to pick that up for around $1,400 on Black Friday last year, 2022. I'm assuming it's going to be on a good sale again this year. The Bluetti B230 battery, I believe, is running $14.99. It effectively doubles the battery capacity of the AC200Max. And then the DC Charge Enhancer is running $199. I will put links to everything below. Those will be affiliate links. So if you make a purchase, it'll really help out my channel. And thanks everybody for watching.